Hi everyone, and welcome to Fluent English Journey. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe so you can receive daily English tips that will help you improve step by step. Today, we are going to learn daily use sentences, simple sentences that you can use in almost every situation of your life. These sentences are helpful at work, at school, with friends, and in everyday conversations. The purpose is not only to understand the words, but to speak them naturally, confidently, and politely. When you use these sentences correctly, your communication becomes clearer, conversations feel smoother, and you start sounding more like a natural English speaker. For example, imagine you are at work and you need someone to send you an important report. Instead of asking directly, you can use a polite and professional sentence like, "Could you please send me the report by the end of the day?" This sentence is clear, respectful, and shows professionalism. It tells the other person what you need without sounding rude or demanding. Now imagine you are meeting a friend at a cafe. You want to suggest a place to visit. You can say, "I was thinking we could try the new coffee place on Main Street." This sentence sounds casual and friendly. It shows your idea, but also invites your friend to share their opinion. Another type of useful daily sentence is expressing your opinion in a polite way. You can say, "In my opinion, we should approach the project differently to get better results." This allows you to share your thoughts clearly without sounding aggressive or disrespectful. You also need sentences for giving advice or making suggestions. For example, you might want to check the schedule before booking your tickets to avoid any problems. Sentences like this show that you care about the other person and want to help them avoid difficulties. Expressing feelings and reactions is also important in daily conversations. For example, you can say, "I was really impressed by her presentation yesterday, especially how simply she explained difficult ideas." This type of sentence makes your conversation more interesting and positive. Another very important skill is asking questions clearly and politely. Instead of saying something direct like, "Give me the schedule," you can say, "Could you please share the schedule with me when you get a moment?" This sounds polite and makes communication easier. Using simple, polite, and natural sentences every day makes a big difference. These sentences help you communicate more effectively at work, school, and in social situations. The more you practice them, the more confident and fluent you will become. Over time, these expressions will feel natural, and people will understand you more easily. Remember, the key to learning daily English sentences is practice. Listen to how native speakers talk, repeat the sentences out loud, and try to use them in real conversations. With time, you will speak more naturally and smoothly. Your English will sound clearer, more confident, and more polite. Asking clear questions is especially important. For example, in a meeting, if you need more information, you can say, "Could you explain that point a little more so I can fully understand it?" This shows you are paying attention and want to understand properly. In a social setting, you can ask friendly questions such as, "How did you discover that interesting hobby?" This invites the other person to share a story and helps you build a better connection. Polite requests are also useful in everyday life. For example, "Would you mind helping me with this task for a few minutes?" This is respectful and increases the chances of getting help. Daily sentences are helpful for planning too. For example, "Let's meet next Thursday at 3 so we have enough time to prepare." This makes your plans clear and organized. When talking personally, you can show interest by saying, "I would love to hear more about your travel experience last summer." This makes the other person feel valued and encouraged to talk more. Expressing gratitude is another essential part of daily communication. For example, "I really appreciate the time you took to explain that to me. It was very helpful." Polite sentences like this help you build strong and positive relationships. Sometimes you may need to talk about problems or challenges. It is important to do this in a calm and constructive way. You can say, I noticed we are facing some difficulties with the project timeline. I suggest we brainstorm some solutions together. This sentence shows that you want to solve the problem without blaming anyone. Another way to respond is, I understand the issue, and I think we can manage it if we take things one step at a time. This shows you are calm, supportive, and ready to work on the solution. In daily life, using simple and polite sentences helps you become a better communicator. When you ask questions politely, make requests respectfully, show interest in others, and express gratitude, your English becomes more natural and confident. With regular practice, these sentences will become easy for you to use, and communication will feel smoother every day. Over time, you will start to see that your conversations become smoother and more natural. People will respond to you more positively because you are speaking in a polite, clear, and friendly way. Daily use sentences are not only about learning words, they are about building real connections with people, expressing your ideas confidently, and making sure others understand you easily. When you learn these sentences and use them regularly, you will feel comfortable in almost any situation. Whether you are in a meeting, working on a project, chatting with friends, or attending a social event, these sentences will help you communicate clearly and confidently. They show that you are calm, thoughtful, and ready to work well with others. In everyday conversations, showing empathy is very important. For example, you can say, I can imagine how stressful that situation must have been for you. This simple sentence shows understanding and helps you connect with the other person on a deeper level. In professional settings, knowing daily use sentences can completely improve the way you communicate. During meetings, you need to know how to agree or disagree politely. For example, you could say, I see your point, and it makes sense. But I also have some concerns that I would like to discuss. This sentence is respectful and balanced. It shows agreement, but also expresses your own thoughts in a polite way. If you fully agree with someone, you can say, I completely agree with your suggestion, and I think it will really help improve our workflow. This makes you sound confident and cooperative. Daily use sentences are also useful for problem-solving discussions. For example, you might say, let's look at the data carefully before making any final decisions so we can be confident in our approach. This sentence shows that you value careful planning and teamwork. When suggesting another idea, you can say, maybe we could consider a different approach that might give us faster results without reducing the quality. This is constructive and professional. It focuses on solutions, not problems. Being able to express these thoughts smoothly makes your communication stronger and more effective at work. In social situations, daily use sentences help you build friendly and natural conversations. For example, when meeting someone new, you can ask, how did you get involved in this hobby? This shows interest and encourages the other person to share their experiences. When someone tells you good news, you can say, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. This simple sentence makes people feel appreciated and valued. Showing empathy, curiosity, and agreement in conversations helps others feel understood and connected to you. This builds trust and strong relationships. Daily use sentences are tools that help you communicate politely, clearly, and confidently in all situations. When you practice them often, they become a natural part of the way you speak. Over time, your conversations at work, with friends, and in social gatherings will feel easier and smoother. By using polite requests, clear questions, expressions of gratitude, helpful suggestions, and empathetic statements, your English will sound natural, confident, and effective. These sentences help you participate fully in discussions, build better relationships, and solve problems more effectively. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to speak English fluently in any situation. Daily use sentences are simple, practical, and very powerful. They make communication smoother and more enjoyable. For example, when meeting someone new, you can say, It's great to meet you. I've heard a lot about your work, and I'm excited to learn more. This is polite and friendly, and it encourages further conversation. At a social event, if you want to introduce yourself casually, you might say, "Hi, I'd love to learn more about your hobbies and experiences." This shows curiosity and openness, making the conversation more enjoyable. Daily use sentences also help you respond politely to unexpected situations. If a colleague shares surprising information, you could say, "That's very interesting. It gives me a new perspective on the situation." This shows that you are paying attention and appreciate their input. When someone shares exciting news, you might say, "That sounds amazing. I'd love to hear more about how it happened." This keeps the conversation positive and meaningful. Compliments are another important part of daily communication. In a professional setting, you can say, "I really admire how you handled that situation. Your approach was thoughtful and professional." This is sincere and shows respect. With friends, you might say, "I really like your idea for the event. It's creative and well-planned." Compliments like these help people feel appreciated and create a friendly atmosphere. Practicing these sentences helps you sound confident, polite, and approachable. The more you use them, the more natural they will feel, and the better your English communication will become every day. Daily use sentences also include ways to express your preferences and make choices politely. These sentences are helpful in both professional and personal situations. For example, at work, you might say, "I would prefer to finish this task by Thursday, so we have enough time to review it properly." This sentence is polite, clear, and shows that you are organized and thoughtful. In personal conversations, you could say, "I think I'd like to try the new restaurant in town because I've heard good reviews about it." This sentence communicates your preference in a friendly and natural way. When you use sentences like these, people understand your choices more easily. Learning and practicing these types of sentences helps your English sound more natural in everyday life. Whether you are in a meeting, at work, with friends, or at a social event, knowing how to introduce yourself, respond to information, give compliments, and express preferences makes conversations smoother and more comfortable. These sentences also help you sound confident, polite, and genuinely interested in other people. With regular practice, these sentences will start to feel natural. Your communication will become clearer, more effective, and more enjoyable. The secret to improving is simple practice. Listen to how people use these sentences in real situations, repeat them naturally, and use them in your own conversations. When you do this, your English becomes more fluent, your relationships stronger, and your conversations more respectful and engaging. Daily use sentences are simple, practical, and powerful. They strengthen your English every day and make communication easier. You can also use daily sentences to talk about future plans or organize schedules. In a work setting, you might say, "Let's plan the meeting for Thursday afternoon so everyone has enough time to prepare their reports." This sentence is practical, respectful, and clear. It also shows that you care about others' time. In personal situations, you might say, "I'm planning to visit the new art exhibition this weekend, and I'd love for you to join me." This kind of sentence is warm, friendly, and creates opportunities for shared experiences. It is also important to know how to apologize or express regret politely. In professional settings, you could say, "I apologize for the delay in sending the report. I will make sure it is completed by the end of the day." This sentence is polite, responsible, and solution-focused. In personal conversations, you might say, "I'm really sorry I couldn't attend your event. I hope it went wonderfully." This shows sincerity and helps maintain good relationships without sounding too formal. Daily use sentences are also valuable when you want to share opinions or disagree respectfully. For example, you can say, "I understand your point, and I think we might also consider another approach." This keeps the discussion polite and constructive. When you agree with someone, you could say, I completely agree with your suggestion, and I believe it will benefit the team. This shows confidence, respect, and teamwork. These sentences are not just words. They are tools that help you communicate clearly, politely, and confidently in every situation. Whether you are planning projects, expressing preferences, apologizing, giving opinions, or offering suggestions, daily use sentences make conversations smoother and more effective. Practicing them regularly helps them become a natural part of your speech. You will notice that your conversations become more positive, enjoyable, and easy to manage. By using polite requests, clear explanations, empathetic statements, expressions of gratitude, compliments, and planning sentences, your English becomes more fluent, respectful, and persuasive. These sentences help you build connections, handle different situations comfortably, and communicate in a way that is polite, confident, and natural. Daily use sentences are simple, practical, and extremely powerful. They make speaking English easier, smoother, and more enjoyable every single day. In conversations, it's important to express your ideas clearly while still respecting others. For example, you might say, I understand your point of view, and I'd like to add some additional information that might be helpful. This shows respect while sharing your own thoughts. If you want to express a stronger opinion, you could say, based on my experience, I believe this approach is more effective and reliable, and I'm happy to explain why. This kind of sentence shows confidence, professionalism, and careful thinking. Daily use sentences also include ways to ask for clarification politely. For example, in a formal situation, you might say, I'm not sure I fully understood. Could you please explain that again? This keeps the conversation clear and prevents misunderstandings. By practicing all these types of sentences, you will communicate more smoothly, connect better with others, and speak English with confidence and clarity. Sometimes in conversations, we do not understand everything the first time, and that is completely normal. In these moments, using simple and polite sentences can help a lot. For example, you can say, could you please explain that part again? This shows that you are paying attention and that you want to understand correctly. In a casual conversation with friends, you might say, could you repeat that last part? I want to make sure I understood you correctly. Sentences like these help you avoid confusion and show that you are an active listener. They make conversations smoother and prevent awkward moments. Another important daily communication skill is offering help. In the workplace, being polite and supportive is very valuable. You could say, if you need help with your presentation, I would be happy to assist you. This sentence is professional, respectful, and shows teamwork. In a social situation, you might say, if you need someone to help set up for the event, I would be glad to join. Offering help like this makes you friendly, responsible, and trustworthy. It also strengthens your relationships, both personal and professional. Daily sentences also help when you need to give instructions or guidance. For example, at work, you can say, please follow these steps carefully to complete the form correctly. This sentence is polite, clear, and direct. In a casual situation, you might say, let me show you the best way to organize your workspace so everything becomes easier to use. These kinds of sentences make your instructions simple and easy to follow. They also show that you care about helping others improve or work more efficiently. Using polite and confident language is helpful in almost every part of life. With these simple sentences, you can express your thoughts, ask questions, offer help, and guide others without sounding rude or harsh. When you practice these sentences, your communication becomes more natural and smooth. Whether you are at work, at a social gathering, or talking with friends, daily sentences are useful tools. They help you express yourself clearly, avoid misunderstandings, and build stronger, more positive relationships. Speaking politely and listening carefully makes you appear confident, thoughtful, and approachable. Over time, these habits will make your English sound more fluent, natural, and professional. Daily use sentences also help you guide people politely without sounding bossy. For example, let me show you the best way to organize things so you can easily find everything. This sentence gives clear instructions, but in a friendly and cooperative way. These sentences also help you show excitement, interest, or surprise in conversations. For example, you can say, "I was really surprised to hear about your promotion. Congratulations." This shows that you are genuinely happy for the other person. In a casual conversation, you might say, "That is such an interesting story. I never knew something like that could happen." Sentences like these make your conversations more enjoyable and meaningful. When you talk about past experiences, it is useful to use sentences that reflect what you learned. For example, during my last project, I learned many valuable lessons about teamwork and time management that I still use today. This makes the conversation deeper and shows that you think carefully about your experiences. In a friendly situation, you could say, "I visited an amazing museum last weekend, and I was fascinated by how they presented the history." These sentences help keep the conversation engaging and help others understand your thoughts clearly. Daily sentences are also helpful when expressing certainty or uncertainty. For example, "I am confident that this solution will work, but I'm open to other suggestions." This shows confidence, but also flexibility. In a casual situation, you might say, "I'm not completely sure about the details, but I can check and let you know." These sentences make you sound honest, respectful, and professional. Encouraging others is another important part of communication. You could say, "I believe in your abilities, and I'm sure you can overcome any challenge." This helps motivate the other person and creates a positive atmosphere. In informal situations, you might say, "You've got this. I know you can do it." These sentences make people feel supported and confident. Using daily sentences regularly will help you become a clearer, more polite, and more natural communicator. Whether you are giving instructions, expressing interest, sharing experiences, or encouraging someone, these sentences help your English sound smooth and confident. Practicing them often will make them a natural part of your everyday speech. Daily use sentences are simple but powerful. They help you guide others politely, express your thoughts clearly, think about your experiences meaningfully, and motivate people in a positive way. When you use these daily sentences often, you begin to sound more confident, friendly, and professional in every situation. These types of sentences help you communicate in a way that is clear, respectful, and engaging. Whether you are speaking at work, at a social event, or in a casual conversation with friends, daily use sentences help you encourage and support others naturally. For example, you can say, "I believe in your abilities, and I know you can overcome any challenge you face." This kind of sentence is positive, motivating, and shows that you have confidence in the other person. In a more casual conversation, you might say, "You've done a great job so far. Keep going and you will succeed." Using sentences like these regularly helps build trust, strengthens relationships, and makes interactions more positive and uplifting. Another important group of daily sentences involves expressing agreement, disagreement, and compromise politely. For example, you might say, "I agree with your main point, but I think we could make it even stronger by considering this additional perspective." This sentence shows that you agree, but you also offer a helpful suggestion. Or you can say, "I understand your concerns, and perhaps we can find a middle ground that works for both sides." Using sentences like these shows emotional intelligence, respect, and the ability to keep conversations calm and balanced. Daily sentences are also helpful when talking about hopes, dreams, and personal goals. In a professional setting, you can say, "I hope to improve my skills over the next few months so I can take on more responsibilities at work." This shows ambition and dedication. In a casual conversation, you might say, I'm looking forward to visiting new countries next year because I want to experience different cultures and meet interesting people. Sentences like these help you share your dreams naturally and encourage meaningful conversations about the future. Giving feedback politely is another important communication skill. At work, you could say, your presentation was detailed and informative, and I think it could be even stronger if you include more real-life examples. This sentence gives praise and a suggestion without sounding harsh. In a more casual situation, you might say, I really like your idea, and maybe we could also try this small adjustment to make it even better. These sentences help maintain good relationships while still improving the work or idea. Using daily sentences regularly makes your English sound clearer, more confident, and more polite. These sentences help you encourage others, express opinions respectfully, share your goals, and give constructive feedback. With practice, they will become a natural part of your everyday speaking style. They improve communication in professional, social, and casual situations. Daily sentences are simple but powerful. They help you express yourself confidently, support others effectively, and handle different situations with respect. When giving feedback, it is especially important to be gentle and encouraging. Instead of sounding critical, you can use positive and helpful language. For example, if someone tells you a story, you could say, I really enjoyed your story, and I think it would be even better if you added some personal experiences. This shows appreciation while offering a suggestion. Sentences like these make conversations smoother and help others feel comfortable sharing their ideas. When planning events or activities, clear and cooperative sentences are very helpful. You might say, I suggest we make a detailed plan so everyone knows what they need to do and when it should be done. This is practical, organized, and professional. In a casual situation, you could say, why don't we try a new activity this weekend that everyone can enjoy? Using sentences like these encourages teamwork, shows leadership, and keeps conversations productive and friendly. Clear daily sentences make group discussions easier, more effective, and more enjoyable because everyone understands each other. They help you communicate smoothly, solve problems politely, and build better relationships over time. Daily sentences are also very helpful when you want to share your opinion on difficult or complicated topics in a respectful way. For example, you can say, from my perspective, this approach seems effective, but I would like to hear other viewpoints so that we can make a better decision. This type of sentence shows that you think carefully, that you are open to other ideas, and that you want to work together to find the best solution. In a more casual conversation, you might say, I personally enjoy reading books on different subjects because it helps me understand the world better, but I'm curious to know what others like. Sentences like these allow you to share your thoughts without dominating the conversation. They encourage others to participate and help create respectful, meaningful, and inclusive discussions. Daily sentences are also extremely important when dealing with conflicts or misunderstandings. If something goes wrong or someone becomes upset, calm and polite sentences can help fix the situation. For example, you could say, I think there has been a misunderstanding. Let's go over the details together so that there is no confusion. This sentence is calm, respectful, and focused on solving the problem instead of blaming anyone. Using sentences like this regularly helps maintain good communication in both professional and personal situations. They show that you have patience, diplomacy, and respect for other people's feelings. Additionally, using simple daily sentences can help you build stronger relationships. When you speak clearly, politely, and positively, people are more likely to listen to you and respond well. Even in situations that feel stressful, such as disagreements, group projects, or important meetings, using the right sentences can completely change the outcome. For example, you might say, I see your point, and I think we can combine our ideas to create a better plan. Or, let's work on this together so that everyone feels comfortable. These sentences turn tense moments into productive discussions. Practicing them often helps you become better at expressing your thoughts calmly and respectfully in any situation. Overall, simple positive daily sentences are very powerful tools. They help you give feedback, plan activities, share opinions, and handle conflicts without creating misunderstandings. They make conversations smoother, encourage teamwork, and show respect to everyone involved. Whether you are speaking in a formal environment like the workplace or in a casual setting with friends, using clear and respectful sentences helps you connect with others and communicate more effectively. When you practice these sentences regularly, you become more prepared to express yourself in a thoughtful, polite, and constructive way. In everyday life, it is also important to use sentences that help resolve conflicts, express gratitude, show flexibility, and give encouragement. Using polite and thoughtful sentences makes communication easier and relationships stronger. For example, if someone misunderstands you or seems hurt by what you said, a calm and respectful apology can fix the situation. You might say, "I'm sorry if my comment came across in the wrong way. I didn't mean to upset you." This sentence shows that you care about the other person's feelings and want to correct the misunderstanding. Using polite sentences in moments like this can prevent arguments and help keep relationships healthy. These sentences show maturity, respect, and emotional intelligence. They also encourage others to respond in a positive and understanding way. Expressing gratitude is another important part of using daily sentences. In a professional setting, you might say, "Thank you for taking the time to review my work. Your feedback is very valuable and helps me improve." This sentence shows appreciation and professionalism. In personal situations, you can say, "I'm really grateful for your support during that difficult time. It meant a lot to me." Sentences like these show your genuine feelings and help build stronger connections. Sharing gratitude in clear, meaningful ways lets people know that their efforts are appreciated. It strengthens relationships and shows kindness and respect. Daily sentences are also useful when talking about changes or unexpected situations. Life often brings new challenges, and using sentences that show adaptability makes these moments easier to handle. For example, in a professional environment, you might say, "I understand that the project requirements have changed, and I am ready to adjust my approach to meet the new expectations." This shows flexibility and a solution-focused attitude. In a casual situation, you might say, "Even though our plans changed unexpectedly, I think we can still make the day enjoyable and productive." These types of sentences help you stay positive, calm, and open-minded when dealing with change. Using sentences like these helps you show resilience, a positive attitude, and the ability to handle change with calmness and confidence. People appreciate someone who can stay steady and constructive when unexpected situations happen. Encouragement and support are also very important in daily communication. In professional environments, you might say, "I have confidence in your abilities, and I believe you can achieve excellent results if you continue your hard work." Sentences like this are motivating and supportive. They show that you believe in the other person and want to see them succeed. In more casual or social conversations, you might say, "You are doing great so far, and I'm sure that with a little more effort, you will succeed." These sentences help boost confidence, improve motivation, and strengthen relationships because people feel supported, appreciated, and valued. Using daily sentences in these ways, apologizing, expressing gratitude, showing adaptability, and encouraging others, makes communication smoother and more effective. They help prevent misunderstandings, build trust, and create a positive environment wherever you are. Whether you are at work, with friends, or at home with family, practicing these sentences regularly helps you express yourself clearly, politely, and thoughtfully. It also shows that you care about others and are willing to work together, adjust to change, and celebrate success. Over time, using these simple but powerful sentences can greatly improve your relationships and make conversations more productive. They create an atmosphere of respect, understanding, and support. Overall, sentences for daily use are more than just words. They are tools that help you connect with others, solve problems, and spread positivity. Whether you are apologizing for a misunderstanding, thanking someone for their help, adapting to new situations, or encouraging someone to keep going, choosing your words carefully makes a big difference. By using these sentences with thought and intention, you communicate with confidence, kindness, and clarity, making every conversation more meaningful and constructive. Daily sentences are also extremely important because they help you express ideas, explain things, share emotions, and motivate others in a clear way. The words you choose can turn any conversation into something positive and productive. For example, offering encouragement in everyday speech creates a supportive atmosphere. In professional settings, you might say, "I have confidence in your abilities, and I believe you can achieve excellent results if you continue your hard work." In personal or casual conversations, you might say, "You're doing great so far, and with just a little more effort, you will achieve your goal." Sentences like these show emotional intelligence, build positivity, and inspire the people around you. Daily sentences are also useful when explaining tasks, processes, or instructions. Clear communication ensures that tasks are done correctly and without confusion. In a professional environment, you might say, "Please follow the step-by-step instructions carefully so that the final result meets the required standards." This sentence is precise and helpful. In casual situations, you could say, "Let me show you how I organize my daily schedule." It might help you save time and work more efficiently. Sentences like these reduce misunderstandings and make instructions easier to follow. Clear communication is especially important when working with others, whether at work, school, or home. Expressing your opinions or perspectives is another important area where daily sentences help. Sharing your viewpoint respectfully keeps conversation positive and meaningful. In professional discussions, you might say, "I have a slightly different viewpoint. I understand why your suggestion makes sense, and I can see its advantages." This shows respect and encourages constructive dialogue. In social conversations, you might say, "I understand your perspective, and it's interesting to hear how you view this situation differently from me." Using sentences like these encourages open discussion, deeper understanding, and better communication. Daily sentences also help you express feelings and reactions in clear and appropriate ways. Sharing emotions in a thoughtful manner builds empathy and strengthens relationships. In professional settings, you might say, "I was impressed by how the team handled the unexpected challenge. It really showed dedication and teamwork." In personal situations, you could say, "I felt inspired by your story. It reminded me to stay focused on my own goals." Sentences like these help you communicate your feelings clearly and make conversations more engaging. By practicing these sentences, you learn to express your thoughts and emotions in a way that others can easily understand and appreciate. Overall, daily use sentences are essential for all kinds of communication. They help you encourage others, explain tasks, share opinions, express emotions, and handle difficult situations with clarity and respect. Whether you are in a formal meeting at work, having a casual conversation with friends, or helping someone with a personal problem, the way you phrase your sentences makes a huge difference. Using clear, positive, and thoughtful sentences creates a friendly and cooperative environment. It reduces misunderstandings, increases participation, and ensures that everyone feels heard and valued. Practicing these sentences regularly improves your communication skills, builds stronger relationships, and helps you handle both personal and professional interactions successfully. In summary, simple and well-chosen sentences are powerful tools for better communication. They help you motivate, explain, discuss, and connect with others effectively. Whether you are encouraging someone, giving instructions, expressing your opinion, or sharing your feelings, these sentences create meaningful and productive conversations. By using them daily, you improve your communication and make all your interactions more respectful, clear, and positive. Practicing these sentences ensures that your conversations are always thoughtful, helpful, and easy to understand. Using daily sentences in conversations is very important because they help you speak clearly, politely, and confidently. These sentences make communication easier in all situations, at work, with friends, with family, or in casual conversations. When you use simple and respectful sentences every day, people find you easier to talk to, and your relationships become stronger over time. Daily sentences are especially helpful when you are negotiating, discussing ideas, or trying to find solutions that work for everyone. Polite language keeps conversations calm and positive. For example, in a professional meeting, you might say, "I understand your proposal, and I think we can reach an agreement if we make a few adjustments that benefit both sides." This kind of sentence shows respect, cooperation, and a desire to solve problems peacefully. In casual conversations, you can say, "I like your idea, and maybe we can combine it with some of my suggestions to make it even better." These simple, polite expressions help prevent conflict and make teamwork easier. Daily use sentences are also important for showing curiosity and interest in others. When you ask questions politely, people feel valued and appreciated. For example, you could say, "I am curious to know more about your recent project because it sounds very interesting and challenging." In social settings, you might say, "I would love to hear more about your travel experiences." These sentences show that you care about what the other person is saying, which helps build stronger and more meaningful relationships. Another important use of daily sentences is when discussing options and choices. Speaking clearly and respectfully helps everyone share their ideas comfortably. In professional situations, you could say, "There are several possible solutions to this problem, and I suggest we evaluate each one carefully before making a decision." This makes discussions organized and ensures everyone has a chance to contribute. In casual conversations, you could say, "We have a few options for our weekend plans, and I am open to everyone's suggestions." Sentences like these keep conversations fair, balanced, and inclusive. Daily sentences are also useful for expressing confidence politely. Confidence helps others trust your decisions, but when expressed gently, it does not sound arrogant. For example, you might say, "I am confident that this plan will achieve good results because it has been carefully considered." In daily life, you could say, "I believe this approach will work well because it covers all the important points we talked about." These sentences show that you are thoughtful and sure of your ideas while still being respectful. It is also important to express your boundaries and limitations clearly. When you share your limits politely, misunderstandings are avoided and relationships remain positive. In professional settings, you might say, "I am willing to help with this project, but I may need extra support to finish it on time." In personal situations, you could say, "I would love to join the event, but I have other commitments I cannot reschedule." These sentences communicate your situation honestly without causing conflict. Daily sentences can also help you express your preferences clearly. For example, in a professional environment, you might say, "I would prioritize this task first because it is time-sensitive and very important." In casual conversations, you could say, "I prefer spending time outdoors on weekends because it helps me relax." These clear statements help others understand how you think and what you need. Overall, daily use sentences are powerful communication tools. They help you negotiate politely, Show interest in others, share ideas respectfully, express confidence, and set healthy boundaries. When you use these sentences regularly, your communication becomes clearer, kinder, and more effective. They make your conversation smoother, reduce misunderstandings, and help build trust with the people around you. Daily sentences are more than just simple phrases. They are tools for creating positive interactions, solving problems peacefully, and making meaningful connections. Whether you are working with a team, talking with friends, or sharing ideas with your family, using thoughtful and polite sentences makes every conversation more productive and pleasant. By practicing these sentences every day, you improve your communication skills, strengthen your relationships, and create a friendly and respectful environment wherever you go. Daily sentences help you explain your choices and priorities in a natural way. When you express yourself clearly, it becomes easier for others to understand your point of view and work or plan with you effectively. These sentences also help you show agreement in a confident and polite manner. For example, in professional situations, you can say, "I fully agree with your assessment, and I believe implementing your suggestion will lead to excellent results." This shows strong support while still sounding thoughtful and professional. In social conversations, you might say, "I completely agree with your plan, and I think it is the best option for everyone." Sentences like these show that you are listening carefully and that you value the other person's ideas, which helps create a positive and cooperative atmosphere. Overall, daily sentences help you express many different things clearly: confidence, boundaries, preferences, and agreement. These sentences make conversations smoother and help prevent misunderstandings. When you communicate your confidence, others feel reassured. When you set boundaries politely, relationships stay respectful. When you explain your preferences, people understand your priorities better. When you show agreement, teamwork becomes stronger. Using these sentences in your daily life helps you communicate successfully in both professional and personal situations. Your words remain clear, polite, and effective. Daily sentences are powerful tools that help you share your thoughts carefully and maintain positive communication with everyone around you. Daily use sentences are also important for expressing disagreement respectfully. Sometimes you may not share the same opinion as someone else, and that is completely normal. What matters is how you express your disagreement. In professional settings, you might say, "I understand your viewpoint, but I see it differently because of these specific reasons." This sentence is polite, clear, and respectful. In casual conversations, you could say, "I hear what you are saying, and I have a slightly different opinion that I would like to share." Sentences like these allow you to express disagreement without creating tension or conflict. They help keep the conversation friendly and constructive. These sentences are also useful when you want to clarify your intentions or expectations. Clear communication prevents confusion and ensures that everyone understands what needs to be done. For example, at work you might say, "I want to make sure we are on the same page regarding the project goals and deadlines." This sentence reflects professionalism and cooperation. In personal situations, you could say, "I just want to clarify my weekend plans so there is no confusion about timing." These expressions make conversations smoother, prevent misunderstandings, and help people work together more effectively. Daily sentences also allow you to express your creativity and personal insights naturally. Sharing ideas encourages deeper conversations and builds stronger connections. For example, in a professional context, you might say, "I enjoy creating new ideas for projects because it helps me explore different perspectives and find innovative solutions." This shows creativity, enthusiasm, and problem-solving skills. In social settings, you could say, "I love experimenting with new recipes because it is a fun way to express myself and learn something new." These kinds of sentences make conversations more engaging and encourage others to share their own creative interests. Daily sentences are also helpful when discussing culture, traditions, or personal experiences. For example, you might say, I find it fascinating to learn about different cultural practices because it helps me understand how people live and think in other parts of the world. This sentence shows curiosity, respect, and openness. In casual conversations, you could say, I enjoy hearing stories about family traditions because they help me connect with people and learn more about their background. Sentences like these make conversations richer and more meaningful. They encourage others to share their experiences and help you build stronger relationships by showing genuine interest in others. In short, daily use sentences play an important role in communication. They help you express agreement, disagreement, creativity, curiosity, confidence, and boundaries in a way that is polite and thoughtful. Practicing these sentences will make your communication more natural, smooth, and effective. Whether you are speaking at work, with friends, or with family, these simple sentences help create conversations that are respectful, positive, and meaningful. Daily sentences are very helpful in all kinds of communication. They allow you to express opinions, clarify intentions, show creativity, and interact respectfully with others. When you use them thoughtfully, you can maintain positive interactions, prevent misunderstandings, and encourage meaningful conversations. Whether you are in a professional meeting, a social gathering, or a casual chat with friends, daily sentences make communication smoother, clearer, and more respectful. Practicing them regularly helps you share ideas confidently, listen carefully, and build stronger relationships with the people around you. Simple and well-chosen daily sentences are powerful tools for connecting with others. They allow you to express your thoughts, share experiences, and show respect for other people's perspectives. Using them consistently improves your communication skills, strengthens relationships, and makes every conversation more engaging, positive, and productive. Daily sentences are very useful for talking about culture, abstract ideas, personal insights, and experiences in a way that is easy to understand and interesting. For example, when discussing culture, you might say, in my culture, it is common to celebrate milestones with family gatherings, and I find it strengthens our relationships and sense of community. This sentence is informative and reflective, helping the listener understand your background better. In casual conversations, you could say, I enjoy learning about different cultures because it helps me see the world from different perspectives and appreciate diversity. Sentences like these encourage curiosity, empathy, and open discussions while keeping communication natural and smooth. Daily sentences are also important for expressing abstract or philosophical ideas clearly. Sharing your thoughts in a simple and approachable way helps others understand your perspective. For example, you could say, I believe that small daily habits have a big impact on personal growth because they build consistency and discipline over time. This sentence explains a complex idea in a practical and easy-to-understand way. In casual conversations, you might say, I often think about the importance of balance in life because it helps maintain mental and emotional well-being. Using sentences like these allows you to discuss abstract concepts confidently while keeping your language simple, engaging, and accessible. Giving advice and recommendations is another area where daily sentences are very useful. Providing guidance politely helps others make informed decisions without feeling pressured. In professional settings, you might say, based on my experience, I would recommend reviewing the data carefully before making a final decision to avoid potential mistakes. This sentence is clear, helpful, and professional. In casual situations, you could say, if you are planning to visit the city, I suggest exploring the local markets because they give a unique insight into the culture and lifestyle. Using sentences like these allows you to communicate advice constructively, making your conversations supportive and positive. Daily sentences are also helpful for sharing personal experiences and lessons learned. For instance, in a professional context, you could say, During my last project, I learned that clear communication and teamwork are key to success. This sentence shows reflection, professionalism, and thoughtfulness. In personal conversations, you might say, I realize that keeping a journal helps me organize my thoughts and reduce stress. Sentences like these help convey insights naturally, encourage others to share their experiences, and make discussions more meaningful. Daily use sentences help in many areas of communication, including culture, abstract ideas, advice, and personal reflections. They make conversations smoother, more respectful, and more engaging. Whether you are in a professional meeting, social gathering, or casual chat, using clear and thoughtful sentences ensures that your ideas are understood, your perspective is valued, and your interactions remain positive. Practicing these sentences regularly strengthens your communication skills, helps build connections, and fosters meaningful discussions. Daily sentences are also very useful for storytelling and sharing experiences clearly and engagingly. For example, in professional settings, you might say, during my last trip, I faced several challenges, but I learned valuable lessons that will help me handle similar situations in the future. This sentence is structured, reflective, and engaging. In casual situations, you could say, when I participated in the volunteer project, I was amazed by the dedication of the team and inspired by the positive impact we created together. Sentences like these make your stories interesting, encourage the listener to pay attention, and help people connect with your experiences. Another important type of daily sentence is expressing curiosity and asking thoughtful questions. Showing genuine interest in what others say makes conversations more engaging and demonstrates attentiveness. In professional settings, you could say, could you explain the reasoning behind this decision so that I can understand the factors involved more clearly? This sentence shows that you are attentive, willing to learn, and capable of critical thinking. In casual conversations, you might say, I'd love to hear more about your experience because it sounds really interesting. Using sentences like these makes interactions dynamic, helps you learn from others, and strengthens relationships. In short, daily sentences are powerful tools for clear, respectful, and meaningful communication. They help you express your opinions, share experiences, give advice, tell stories, ask questions, and engage thoughtfully with others. Practicing these sentences regularly improves your communication skills, builds stronger connections, and ensures your conversations are always positive, engaging, and productive. In social situations, you might say, I am curious about your perspective on this topic because it seems very different from what I have experienced. Sentences like these encourage dialogue, show genuine interest, and help build deeper connections with the people you are speaking to. Daily sentences are also helpful for expressing agreement and emphasizing your support clearly. In professional settings, you could say, I completely agree with your assessment, and I believe that implementing your suggestions will lead to the best possible outcome. This sentence is confident, supportive, and professional. In casual conversations, you might say, I totally agree with what you said, and I think it reflects exactly what I was thinking as well. Using sentences like these reinforces your stance while keeping the conversation positive, inclusive, and natural. Daily sentences also allow you to express disagreement politely and respectfully. Sharing a different opinion without sounding confrontational keeps conversations friendly and productive. In professional settings, you could say, I understand your viewpoint, but I see it differently because of these specific reasons. This communicates your perspective clearly while remaining respectful. In social or casual situations, you might say, I hear what you are saying, and I have a slightly different opinion that I would like to share. Sentences like these let you express alternative ideas constructively and maintain a positive atmosphere. Overall, daily sentences make communication smoother, clearer, and more engaging. They help you share experiences, ask questions, agree or disagree respectfully, and engage others meaningfully. Practicing these sentences regularly ensures that you can express your thoughts, ideas, and experiences confidently, whether in professional meetings, social gatherings, or casual chats with friends. Daily sentences are also useful for expressing reflection and personal insights. Reflecting on past experiences shows self-awareness and thoughtfulness. In professional contexts, you could say, looking back at the project, I realized that better time management could have improved the outcome significantly. In social situations, you might say, thinking about my last vacation, I appreciate how traveling taught me to adapt quickly and enjoy new experiences. Sentences like these allow you to share reflections meaningfully and encourage thoughtful conversations. Another important use of daily sentences is expressing anticipation and planning for the future. Communicating excitement and preparation sets a positive tone. In professional contexts, you could say, I'm looking forward to the next phase of the project because it will allow us to apply the lessons we have learned so far. In casual conversations, you might say, I am excited about the upcoming festival because it offers a chance to enjoy music, food, and cultural performances. Sentences like these communicate enthusiasm, motivate others, and create a lively atmosphere. Daily sentences are also essential for showing adaptability and flexibility in changing situations. Being able to adjust your approach while staying positive is a key communication skill. In professional contexts, you could say, I understand that the project requirements have changed, and I am ready to adjust my approach to meet the new expectations. This shows resilience, a constructive attitude, and a willingness to collaborate. In short, using daily sentences thoughtfully helps you build strong relationships, express your thoughts clearly, and navigate both professional and social situations with confidence and respect. They make your conversations more engaging, positive, and productive. Daily use sentences serve many purposes in communication. They help you express resilience, adaptability, gratitude, opinions, solutions, and motivation clearly and positively. Using these sentences thoughtfully strengthens your ability to communicate in both professional and personal settings. Expressing resilience and adaptability. When situations change, it is important to stay calm and flexible. In professional settings, you could say, although the requirements have changed, I am confident that we can adjust our strategy and still achieve our objectives efficiently. In casual situations, you might say, even though the weather changed our plans, I think we can still make the day enjoyable by trying something different. Sentences like these show problem-solving, positivity, and flexibility, helping you maintain smooth communication even during unexpected changes. Showing gratitude and appreciation. Expressing appreciation strengthens relationships and creates a positive atmosphere. In professional settings, I sincerely appreciate your effort in coordinating this project. Your dedication has made a significant difference. In personal situations, thank you for inviting me to your event. It was a wonderful experience, and I enjoyed every moment. These sentences make others feel valued and encourage open, friendly interactions. Discussing challenges and solutions. Acknowledging difficulties while focusing on solutions keeps communication constructive. Professionally, you could say, we encountered some difficulties in meeting the deadline, and I suggest we brainstorm alternative approaches to stay on track. Casually, you might say, I faced some challenges during the preparation, but I found ways to overcome them and learned valuable lessons. Such sentences promote problem-solving, learning, and teamwork without negativity. Expressing opinions clearly and confidently. Sharing ideas in a respectful and well-structured way ensures that your perspective is understood. In professional settings, based on the data and previous experience, I believe this approach will achieve the best results. In social situations, I feel that spending time outdoors on weekends helps me relax and recharge, and it's something I try to prioritize. These sentences help express opinions confidently, respectfully, and constructively, showing excitement and motivation. Daily sentences are also useful for conveying enthusiasm and inspiring others. Professionally, I'm looking forward to the next phase of the project because it will allow us to apply the lessons we have learned so far. Casually, I am excited about the upcoming festival because it offers an opportunity to enjoy music, food, and cultural performances. Such sentences communicate energy, engagement, and positivity, motivating others in both work and social contexts. Daily use sentences are essential for expressing enthusiasm, empathy, invitations, preferences, recognition, advice, and opinions effectively. They make conversations positive, engaging, and constructive in both professional and personal settings. Expressing enthusiasm and motivation. Showing excitement naturally energizes conversations. Professional, I am excited to begin this project because it offers opportunities to learn new skills and work with a talented team. Casual, I am looking forward to the weekend because it will be a great opportunity to relax and spend time with friends. These sentences communicate positivity, focus, and engagement, encouraging others to participate actively. Demonstrating empathy and understanding. Showing care for others strengthens trust and relationships. Professional, I understand the challenges you are facing, and I am here to support you in finding effective solutions. Personal, I can imagine how difficult that situation must have been for you, and I am happy to help in any way I can. Such sentences demonstrate emotional intelligence, compassion, and support. Making polite invitations and suggestions. Inviting others respectfully fosters participation and strengthens connections. Professional, I would like to invite you to join our meeting tomorrow to discuss the next steps in the project. Casual, would you like to join me for a coffee this afternoon so we can catch up? Polite invitations make communication friendly, inclusive, and clear. Expressing preferences and making decisions. Communicating choices clearly avoids misunderstandings. Professional, I prefer to complete this task first because it is urgent and will allow us to manage the remaining work more effectively. Casual, I would rather spend the afternoon outdoors because it is sunny and pleasant. These sentences help others understand your priorities while keeping communication polite and straightforward. Showing admiration and recognition. Acknowledging others encourages positivity and strengthens relationships. Professional, I admire the creativity and dedication you have shown in completing this project successfully. Casual, I really admire the way you handled that situation. It shows patience and thoughtfulness. Recognition builds supportive, encouraging interactions. Giving advice and guidance. Offering guidance politely ensures it is well received. Professional, I would suggest reviewing all the relevant documents before making a decision because it will help ensure accuracy and avoid unnecessary mistakes. Casual, if you are considering trying a new hobby, I recommend starting with something simple so that you can enjoy the process and build confidence gradually. These sentences combine helpfulness with approachability. Sharing opinions respectfully. Expressing nuanced opinions encourages productive discussions. Professional, based on the data and our previous experience, I believe this strategy will be most effective in achieving our goals. Casual, from my experience, I think trying a different approach could make the activity more enjoyable for everyone. Respectful opinions promote clarity, collaboration, and mutual understanding. In professional settings, you could say, from my perspective, this approach seems effective, but I would like to hear other viewpoints so we can make a well-informed decision. This sentence demonstrates analytical thinking, openness, and professionalism. In social situations, you might say, I personally find that reading books on different subjects helps me understand the world better, but I am curious about what others enjoy. Sentences like these encourage respectful dialogue, allow for diverse opinions, and keep conversations inclusive and thoughtful. Overall, daily use sentences are essential for smooth, positive communication. They help you express preferences clearly, recognize others' efforts, provide guidance politely, share opinions respectfully. Using these sentences ensures that conversations remain constructive, engaging, and enjoyable, whether in professional meetings, social gatherings, or casual discussions with friends. By practicing them regularly, you strengthen your ability to communicate effectively, build trust, and create a supportive and collaborative environment in every interaction. In short, well-constructed daily sentences are tools for clear, respectful, and meaningful communication. They allow you to express your ideas, recognize and encourage others, offer advice considerately, and maintain positive relationships. Using them consistently makes every conversation productive, friendly, and engaging.